What is the mind actually? What is this universe about, and what is the nature of reality? In this video, we will go deep into the teachings of Advaitha Vedanta to understand the nature of mind, to understand this reality from a totally different perspective. And we will also understand how this universe is simply a game that is meant to be played but not to be taken seriously. The Advaitha channel is about conscious living and conscious creation. Here we explore different ancient scriptures, Vedanta and other spiritual teachings from India to understand the nature of reality and to consciously create our lives. We will understand all this in 4 parts. Now the part 1 is about the game of life. Imagine that this universe is a simulation. It's simply a projection. It is a game that has been created. Just like different video games that we play, this universe itself is also a simulation. It's also a game that is meant to be played. And we right now think that we are the characters of this game. But in reality, we are not the characters of the game, but we are the creator himself. Since before the creation of the universe, there was no manifestation as such, there was no creation as such. That pure existence, that pure consciousness existed all by itself. This is as per the teachings of Vedanta. Now, once the universe was projected within that consciousness, once this environment was simulated, that infinite consciousness put itself in the position of the character of the game to play the game. But right now we have forgot this. In reality, we are not these characters who are in the game, but we are beyond this game. We are the reality in which the game itself is being projected. Now, for those of you who believe in God, I can explain this in a simpler way. Imagine that God created this universe, created this game, and that God himself is within the game in order to play the game. So that God or that infinite consciousness is within the game and is experiencing the dream environment. This is how we need to understand the game of life. Now the second part, we'll discuss about Maya. Maya is simply simulation or projection. Basically, the way we perceive the world right now is Maya. Maya has 2 qualities. One is projection, second is concealment. Maya is basically time, space and causation. Maya is the framework through which the universe exists in this way. So the entire game environment is Maya. And Maya is also concealment. Now we have identified ourselves with this body and mind, and we think that we are the players of this game. This is because of Maya. We do not recognize our true nature as something which is beyond the game, as something which is infinite. This is because of Maya. So the entire simulated reality, the entire world, the way it is, all of it is Maya, and the reality is beyond Maya. So the reality is pure consciousness and Maya is simply a projection within that infinite consciousness, and because of Maya, the universe exists in this way and the universe is in this way. Part 3, let us talk about the mind. What role does the mind play in all this? How can we understand mind with respect to the teachings of Advaita Vedanta and with respect to the example of the game of life? Now imagine this, that infinite consciousness has put itself in the position of the character and is playing the game right now. But in order for this to happen, that infinite consciousness must identify itself with a character, which is the avatar of the game. So imagine mind to be a virtual reality device. Let us assume that our mind is simply a VR headset, and that infinite consciousness is playing the game of life and is experiencing the 3D world through a VR headset. And the name of this VR headset is the mind. And this VR headset also has 3 parameters, which is time, space and causation. Our mind can never go beyond time, it can never go beyond the concept of space, and it can never understand anything beyond causation. We cannot understand something coming into existence without a cause, right? We cannot go beyond causation or causality. This is the nature of the mind. And our mind in this analogy is simply a device. It's a headset which the infinite consciousness is using to experience the world. Part 4 is about waking up. Now, after understanding all this, we need to wake up in order to truly realize who we are. We need to disidentify from our mind and we need to recognize our true self as that infinite consciousness in order to realize who we truly are. We are not this headset, we are not this device, we are not this mind, we are not this instrument. We are something which is beyond this. We are in fact the reality within which the universe is being projected. So the entire universe is appearing within your consciousness, says Vedanta. And the ancient Upanishads tell us that we are not this body and mind, and instead we are that infinite divine consciousness which was there before the creation of the universe itself. So waking up to this is the ultimate goal for each and every one of us, and this is the purpose of life as per Vedanta, as per Upanishads, and as per the great teachers like Swami Vivekananda. Now we can understand all this through another simple example. This is the example of the dream. We all dream different dreams every single day, and within our dreams, our mind projects a dream world for us to experience. And within the dream world, we unconsciously assume the position of the dream ego and we experience various things. We talk to various people, we interact with the dream world, we do a lot of things within the dream world. All the while being unconscious that we are not that dream ego, but instead we are a person who is sleeping on the bed. Now within the dream there are also other people, the dream environment, the sky, the roads, etc. All of these things seem to have their own independent existence apart from us. It seems like that to us when we are unconscious within the dream. But when we wake up from a dream, we realize that everything was a projection of our mind. It was our mind that projected a dream world for us, and we entered into the dream world as someone else, as the dream ego, and we experienced the dream world. And even though there was an environment within the dream that seemed like it had an independent existence of its own, it technically did not have an independent existence. It derived its existence from our own mind. Now within the dream we usually spend our time unconsciously. But what happens if we wake up within the dream? What happens if we can become conscious of the fact that it is a dream world which is being projected by our own mind? Now this process of waking up within the dream and consciously creating the dream environment is called as lucid dreaming. Many people have experienced this. Through this, we can wake up within the dream and consciously control the dream world and design a dream world that we actually want to experience. Now, what Vedanta tells us is that even this waking world is just like a dream world. Of course, this is a much sophisticated form of simulation. This is a much sophisticated reality, but still it is a dream in the sense that this is not absolute, this is not ultimate. There is a level above this to which we need to wake up to. This is called enlightenment. This is the process of enlightenment. Now, for people who want to live a successful, fulfilled life within this waking reality, within this world that we live in, we can wake up within this world, just like how we can wake up within our dreams. Once we understand this knowledge and once we realize that this universe is simply a projection in consciousness and our mind is simply a tool that we are using to experience this world temporarily, the mind loses its power and it becomes our servant. Right now, our minds are not our servants. Our mind has become the master and we are enslaved by the unconscious thought process and unconscious habits of our minds. This is why we are creating our lives and we are living our lives unconsciously and we are becoming victims of our destiny. Now, if we wake up to this reality and wake up to this knowledge, we can consciously create a gap between our true self and our minds, and we can realize that our mind is just a tool and our mind is supposed to be our servant, and through this we can consciously design the life that we actually want to live. We can consciously design this game environment and play the game in the way that we'll actually enjoy. And the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter 35th verse says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grahyate. Lord Krishna says, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice, through consistent practice and by detachment. Krishna is telling here, of course it is difficult to control our minds, but it is possible by detaching ourselves from the mind and by realizing that we are in fact not our minds, and through consistent effort and practice of conscious living. So this is very important for us to start playing the game that we actually want to play and to start living a conscious life. So this small video was simply about a metaphor, which is the game of life. I wanted to explain the nature of reality and I wanted to explain the teachings of Vedanta through the example of game of life. So take this as just that, as just an example and as just my interpretation. This is not the direct teaching from the Vedanta or the Upanishads.